Hey, Jay. Oh, Lord. Oh, let me see. Got it. Yes. Good evening. I'd like to call our meeting to order tonight. I'll ask Councilman Hinton to lead us in our invocation, and right from our invocation, we'll go into the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Mr. Higginbotham, call roll, please.
Councilman Roberts. President Logan.
Here.
Councilman Hinton.
Here.
Councilman Davis.
Here.
Councilman Hogg. Here. You have a quorum, Mr. President.
Thank you. Item 5 is approval of our agenda tonight. Is there a motion to approve the agenda as printed?
I'll make that motion.
That's a motion by Councilman Davis. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Roberts. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
New business, 8B1 is a resolution declaring certain items surplus and authorizing the proper disposal. Ms. Starnes, Public Works.
Yes, sir. These miscellaneous items have reached their useful life. We've had some damaged bollards from downtown, a door frame, a printer, and a desk.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve that resolution declaring those items as mentioned as surplus and authorizing the proper disposal?
Motion to approve.
That's a motion by Councilman Hogg. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinton. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Councilman Hinton.
Yes.
Councilman Roberts.
Yes.
President Logan.
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Second item, Mr. Higginbotham, naming an interim planning director, or Bruce, I don't know if you had something else to add to that second item.
No, sir, not much to add. We discussed it in the pre-meeting pretty extensively, and I guess I will reiterate, of course, we've been without a planning director for a few months now since our previous director resigned and moved on. So we've had this discussion, and I guess the question I bring to you tonight is, or would you consider looking at naming an interim planning director to fill the void while we move forward with advertising and looking to bring on a planning director in the future?
All right, thank you. I guess by virtue of that, thank you, Bruce. I guess the floor is open for members of council. Either put a name up or.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion that we name Julie Ram interim planning director for City of Northport. That is based solely on an interim title. We have several things that need to be signed off for plats that need to be done. It has to be done by a planning person. And from speaking from planning and zoning, Julie's been very invaluable in knowing codes, working us through the process. So I think it will be a rather seamless transition, and we are looking for a full-time planning director. So I would offer her up as interim.
All right, thank you. That's a motion by Councilman Roberts. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hogg. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg,
Yes.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Councilman Davis.
Yes.
Motion carries, Mr. President.
Consent agenda, we have 9 items. They range from minutes of the previous meeting, bill listings, travel and training, and PO requisitions for 2 road projects respectively. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as printed?
I'll make that motion.
That's a motion by Councilman Roberts. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Davis. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Item 9, reports of special committees to council. If any member of council had a report from their respective committee, the floor is open. All right, hearing none. Item 10 is public hearings. We have none on the agenda tonight. Item 11, city administrator's business. Mr. Higginbotham.
Yes, sir. I would like to bring up one thing that was discussed in the pre-meeting, and that was the idea as we go through the search for a director of planning that we consider also looking into the use of a recruitment firm, a headhunter. I would like to suggest that. I think it would probably be a good move to do that along with our normal advertising process. What I guess I would like to ask you to consider tonight is maybe allowing us to go down that road, and let's put a cap or a maximum on what we would spend in that recruitment process. Normally, the way these things work is if we do end up hiring a candidate that the recruiting firm brings forward, that's when you pay that firm. Probably somewhere between $15,000 or $20,000 would be more than enough to cover that. It's generally 10 to 12% of the salary is what you pay when you do employ a person that comes through a firm. So I would ask that you consider possibly making a motion on that tonight.
All right, thank you, Bruce. Out of the city administrator's office, Mr. Higginbotham has requested that the city council consider hiring or partnering with a recruitment firm, more specifically to help us during our advertisement of the planning director's position. Cost would not exceed $20,000, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there a member of council wanting to offer that for a motion?
I'll make that motion that we put a cap of not to exceed 20,000. The money to be spent on recruitment, which is beyond what we would normally do for this. I think we've got to find a recruitment firm that specializes in this type of thing.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Roberts. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Hinton.
Still with the normal.
Still with the normal process that we go. If we wait, then we are overlapping the 3 weeks. It starts this week, which means we would have to vote on it in 2 weeks, so we're not getting the best effect.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Roberts, second by Councilman Hinton. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, Mr. Higginbotham.
Councilman Roberts,
Yes.
Councilman Hinton,
Yes.
President Logan,
Yes.
Councilman Davis,
Yes.
Councilman Hogg.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Any further business, Mr. Higginbotham?
No, sir.
Item 12, departmental business. We have none on the agenda tonight. Item 13, public comment. We have 4 citizens signed to speak. Our first citizen is Mr. Jody Jobson. Good evening. Please state your name and address for the record, Mr. Jobson.
My name is Jody Jobson. I reside at 1534 Bellwood Lane, Northport. Thank you for taking my comments this evening regarding the Civil Service Board. I'd like to briefly go over the history of the Civil Service Board so everyone knows how we got to where we are today. 1969, Northport Civil Service Board was created by State Act 1225 and included a 3-member board. In 2005, State Act 2005-280 amended the 69 Act and added what was termed unskilled or semi-skilled workers into the classified service. In May of 2009, the State Act 2009-359 added 2 new members to the Civil Service Board and provided for terms. The act specified they lived in the city of Northport and not be an elected official. In November 2009, Municipal Ordinance 1717 added classified status for full-time non-temp positions. No state act was required for this to take effect. In March of 2015, the State Act 2015-23 was created to place all City of Northport positions paid out of the general fund into the classified service. During the December 12th of 2016 Northport City Council meeting, 2 changes were proposed to amend the 69 Act 1225. 1, to take the city administrator clerk out of classified status, and 2, to allow residents of Tuscaloosa County to serve on the Civil Service Board and not have Northport residents specifically serve. Before this time, I never heard of the residency change mentioned in any council meeting. As we know, a staff member attended the resident change to the new legislation, and the council decided to go along with it without deliberation. At the last council meeting in January, you appointed a very qualified individual to the Civil Service Board. However, this person is not a resident of Northport. At the time he was on the Civil Service Board, before he moved, he still remained a member of the Civil Service Board for 2 years before anybody decided to look and see what was going on. I know this is, let me get back to where I am. Oh, as it has been said several times before, if we have 25,000 citizens in our great city, and y'all can't find one person among us that qualifies to serve on the Civil Service Board, that you have to go to Tuscaloosa County, then needs to be a change made at the front table, not the back. In closing, I will advocate the near future to correct the 2017 Civil Service Board legislation allowing non-Northport residents to serve on the board. I would like to emphasize to you that as City Council, you were elected to represent the citizens of Northport, not the citizens of Tuscaloosa County, not the citizens of Tuscaloosa, but Northport. You have reduced the voice of the citizens of Northport regarding human resource decisions for the city of Northport. And to that, I say I'm sorry. I must have voted for the wrong people or pushed for the wrong people. Because like I said, there's not anywhere else I know in the state of Alabama that you've got somebody else telling the city where the residents live what they can do and what they can't. Thank you for your time and opportunity to speak this evening.
Thank you, Jody. Just one point of mention, personal privilege. I think me and you can't agree. I think the council asked the legislature to make the change. That was Resolution 16-139. It was a 5-0 vote, and you're right about that. It was unanimous pass because we did take city administrative position out of the exempt service, and we changed the residency required of the board from city to the county. So that is correct. But it was a 5-0 vote going into that one, all affirmative votes on that one. So, and it went through the House of Representatives, Senate voted for the changes, then Governor signed off on it. But I appreciate it. Thank you.
Only thing I'll add to that, Mr. President, is I guess we need to make 5 changes sitting on the council up there. If you can push that behind us and take our right to live in Northport. People in Tuscaloosa County don't pay taxes in Northport. We do.
Duly noted. Second citizen, Mr. Stephen Schwab.
Good evening. Stephen Schwab. I live at 25 25th Street in downtown Northport. You usually listen to me complaining about the traffic problems on 5th Street in front of my house. But tonight I'd like to address other concerns that I have, and I'm certain many other residents of Northport share with me. Potholes that need to be repaired. Of course, at this time of year, potholes abound all over the Tuscaloosa area, but I'm particularly concerned about those on 26th Avenue right outside my kitchen door, which are steadily getting worse. I'm also concerned about the quality of our drinking water. I've been told that our water comes from Lake Tuscaloosa and that the quality is not the best. Specifically, that there are areas where cattle graze near the lake, and of course, there is runoff of manure and other waste products. A few weeks ago, there was a serious tornado alert for the Tuscaloosa area, and my wife and I huddled for a few minutes in our shower stall. I'm not certain that was the safest place for us to be if a tornado had struck, but I'm also concerned about the safety of our children in our public schools, particularly in schools which have glass-lined corridors. We live in a tornado alley, and we desperately need designated community shelters. Finally, I'd appreciate it if you, as a city council, would encourage and possibly provide some assistance to the formation of volunteer neighborhood watch teams equipped with a ground or base station so that mobile volunteer units could conduct surveillance operations late at night on weekends to reduce the threat of break-ins. Let me be clear, I'm not talking about law enforcement by citizens, but simply putting magnetic placards on the sides of our cars that say neighborhood watch and driving around our respective neighborhoods from, say, around 10 p.m. to 1 or possibly 2 a.m. When my wife and I lived in Northern Virginia, we participated in such a group, and the incidence of local burglaries dropped to 0. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Mr. Swap. If it pleases Mayor and Council, I wanted to at least maybe address the potholes, and I think that's by mention of a work order or two regarding 26th Avenue. So I guess Councilman Roberts, we may kick that to staff to try to. Okay.
Brooke and I have discussed a few of them, so it's on her, it's actually in her little red book that she has.
All right. Going on the quality of the drinking water, I can only speak from what I know. Northport does get our water from Lake Tuscaloosa, but we have a process that filtration, coagulation, sedimentation, and chlorination. So when you get to that point, our water is it's ready to drink. Yeah, I think our water treatment plant and wastewater treatment plant, for that matter, has won numerous awards. So as far as the safety of the drinking water, let me just say this: it is safe to drink. You can sleep good at night. Yes, sir. It's safe to drink.
I would, could I just add quickly, there's been some things in planning and zoning with respect to folks wanting to put neighborhoods along the lake, and there's been a lot of pullback so that we don't create those areas that are draining the water towards the lake. So there's been a lot more scrutiny on what is building in the lake watershed area and worried about creating more runoff into those areas.
I know you referenced cattle and animals and all that and what they do and what nature calls, but I can assure you all that's taken care of. As a certified water operator, I can assure you I've been to other water systems, and Northport and I guess Tuscaloosa water system respectfully is one of the best. The community, or excuse me, volunteer neighborhood watch teams, I think that's a good idea. Now, riding the streets, that'll be up to you. I would leave it up to our law enforcement to really do that, but I think what you wanted is to basically create the neighborhood watch, maybe block captain, block patrol, and things of that nature. I think that's an idea where if you want to work with our law enforcement personnel, they'd be happy to help you set that up. Thank you. Our next citizen, Mr. Dennis Stripling.
Good evening. My name is Dennis Stripling, and I'm the Executive Director at West Alabama Regional Commission here at 4200 Highway 69 North here in Northport. I took Bob Lake's position, who passed away in November, maybe almost a year ago. And I come from Brent, Alabama, served as mayor of the city of Brent for 14 years before taking this position. So I know exactly what you guys are going through and the struggles you have dealing with potholes, with your drinking water, with your garbage, with your dogs, and all of those things that come with local government. It happens in a small city of 4,000 people, and I can attest. And so I've been there. I know where you come from, and I appreciate what you do. more than you know. Our water in Brent is very good. We have very good drinking water in Brent, Alabama also. So, but I just want to say, introduce myself and thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight. I'm going to leave you with an annual report of our organization and the things that we do and provide here. Mayor Aaron, she serves on our board of directors, and we appreciate her service at the Regional Commission. And if there's anything we can do to help you in with your problems here in the city of Northport, that's what we're here for. We serve 7 counties, and Tuscaloosa County is, of course, one of the counties, and we have 38 municipalities in those 7 counties that we serve. So thank you for the opportunity to be here tonight, and thank you for what you do for the city of Northport.
Thank you, Dennis. You don't have a federal EMA grant for a storm shelter, do you? Yeah, Mr. Schwab made a good point. Our next citizen, Mr. Woodrow Washington.
Good evening. My name is Woodrow Washington. I live at 3725 28th Avenue, Northport. Tonight I want to just speak on about the appointment that was made 2 weeks ago. I appreciate Mr. Jody bringing the history of the Civil Service Board as well. I just wanted to address and bring to light my thoughts about the appointment 2 weeks ago. Personally, I had 2 strong feelings going 2 years ago when I ran for mayor. I had 2 big things that I wanted to see and get done in the city of Northport. One was the Hatson Center that's up and running. I appreciate everybody who supported that. 2, the Civil Service Board was a really, really big thing to me. Being a civil service worker at the city of Tuscaloosa, it was one of my strongest concerns. And personally, you know, I've been sitting around waiting for 2 years to just possibly be appointed or possibly be talked about or anything for a position. And to me, the way it was handled 2 weeks ago was unclear to me exactly of the process. I've talked to 3 different people on the council. These are only 3 numbers I had, so I called. And I asked, how did we come to this? I mean, was it resumes being presented? I've dropped my resume off 4 years ago, really. I mean, was this conversation? Did 3 people say, hey, this is who we should get? And to my knowledge, and I might be completely wrong, it didn't go that way. And today, standing here knowing that what a civil service board to me mean, and you know, I'm an advocate for the workers, city employees. And I feel like as civil service board, you gotta give everybody the opportunity to feel like they've been treated fair and equal, and everybody got due process. And personally, knowing that my name was in the hat, or if it was ever in the hat for the position, I honestly felt like I didn't get due process. You know, some ask civil service position. I push diversity because anytime you're in a position that, prime example, you have a city worker, he felt like he'd been done wrong. His last step is civil service, right? But if that person can't leave knowing that he got due justice or he felt like he was treated fairly, the process didn't work. And that comes with hiring, firing, and promotions. And 2 weeks ago, personally, I honestly felt like it wasn't fair. Because if 5 people can honestly say, or 6, including the mayor, can honestly say that we talked about this position and we had dialogue, we had conversation, we looked over 2, 3 different names. Excuse me for being up here today. But to my knowledge, it wasn't due process. And when you don't have due process, it's not right. For the same board that's supposed to protect everybody, if it's not started at the beginning, it's not right. And outside looking in, as a black man, you're gonna think that, oh, this the good old boy system. We're gonna pick our buddies. And I'd be lying if I said anything different. And personally, I don't owe anybody anything. You guys don't owe me anything. But I'm not gonna sit on my hand and just feel like I can't speak about it. 2 weeks ago, the process wasn't right. Being that we're in the city of Northport, if my name wasn't spoken amongst 5 people or 6 people, it wasn't right. You know, I consider a lot of y'all friends, and you gotta understand, you gotta agree to disagree. And some get mad at me, I'm good with that. You know, we'll be okay eventually due time, I hope. I'm not mad or angry at anybody like that, but I'm just telling you today, when y'all wonder why a lot of employees felt like they was treated wrong, that's why. 2 weeks ago, myself, Ms. Coleman, and anybody else who ever applied for the position was treated wrong if you guys didn't have discussion. If you had discussion about the position, I apologize, and I'm wrong, or I just don't know. But today, y'all process was dead wrong. Outside looking in, that's the conclusion that I drew from it. If somebody else can tell me different and explain to me the process, how did it go? Clear me up, because I want to know today. You don't have to answer this, I know you don't, but I want to know, did y'all do it right? Do everybody up there felt like this was the best way? Because personally, I honestly felt like I was done wrong. And I promise you this, every employee who come with a issue to the Civil Service Board gonna have that same feeling. But the board gotta be